What doctor has told us, he has brought before us opportunities. He has shown us the gloom everywhere in South Asia, and the way we conduct our economies and conduct our relations to nature and society. They have all to be changed a very tall order. And all the welcome ideas and new ideas, and they should be responded to positively. But we are sometimes discussing very mundane, small things, like, say, the nut bolt of Indo-Pak relations. Uh, and let Dr. Aisha should forgive me. Let us get rid of our history. What
Get
has
rid of our history.
yes?
How do you
What
do
has
that?
given us, and this is the bloody history. There are two. I will say two things. This is a bloody history, and this is a bloody economics. Both are disturbing us. No, I request Mr. Iyer, I perhaps we had chosen the wrong subject in pursuit of shared destiny. Perhaps we should have uh, thinking of pursue of shared destruction or debacle, and in the hope of creating new avenues. Perhaps I don't know how should I be quiet today's subject. I request Rahman Saab, is there any something in common that we India and Pakistan can move forward despite all this?
In Pakistan, is you talking about?
You see, after listening to two very illuminating presentations, I have almost forgotten what I had to say. Because the topic is in pursuit of shared destiny. But we already share a destiny. You see? We share poverty, we share backwardness, we share corruption, we share unrepresentative rulers. You see? And as far as the future destiny is concerned, Dr. Akmal Hussain has given us a complete picture of what our shared destiny is going to be. And the hopes that we can prevent it are not based on very accurate calculations. Dr. Aisha, began by recalling something said in 1950. I will take you a couple of years further in history to March 1947, when we had in Delhi the first Asian People's Conference. And that was, the slogan was, the future belongs to Asia. And Delhi's streets were echoing with slogans of Asia is rising, because Dr. Hatta was there, and Dr. Shahryar was there, and we all thought he was a Muslim, but he was a Christian from Indonesia. And we had a Muslim Brotherhood, a young man from Egypt. And if Mr. Nehru, as interim Prime Minister, was building up his Asian image, the Quaid-e-Azam was sending messages to Ho Chi Minh and opposing the dispatch of Indian troops to Indonesia. So that was the climate in 1947. We were all together. We wanted to build a common destiny and share it. But what happened? We kept that dream alive in 1955. We formed the Northern Line movement. India was one of the leaders. Pakistan chose not to be part of it, except until the Northern Line movement was dissipating. So after Northern Line movement, we had a group of 77. What I mean to say is that all these 60 years or 65 years, we have been trying to sink our differences and talk of common interests and common destiny and do this and that, do that. But we have been divided and further divided and separated. I think two reasons I would like to mention. One, that in 1947, when independence came, India and Pakistan thought they were the successors to the British paramount power. So Pakistan thought it was successor to the British paramount power, and British paramount power had laid down Durand Line, so there was no need to talk to Afghanistan. And India thought that as the successor to the British paramount power, the line between China and India drawn by McMahon was sacred, and it was not necessary to talk to China at all. So we see this is one problem. The other problem was that these countries acquired independence in a climate of nationalist revanchism. You see, the Indians, were thinking of reviving Ashoka's India, and Pakistanis were thinking of having acquired a base from which they could recreate Aurangzeb's empire. So these two nationalist upsurges, interfered with their ability to develop what Jamal Abdul Nasser called concentric circles of identity. That being Indian and Pakistani, they could also be South Asians. Being Indian and Pakistani, they could also be Asians. Because their nationalist aspirations and nationalist thinking cut across the other outer circles. And we were unable to come up. RTP, the problem is still there. So, I congratulate Imtiaz Shah for having secured a statement from Mr. Asif Ali Zardari, in which he only talks of two things. One, that the disputes can be solved through sustained and productive dialogue, and that South Asia will be an economic powerhouse. Now, I for one would like to share, and support what Dr. Ashir said, that we cannot resolve disputes by maintaining the position that we have maintained all these years. This is not possible. It's not possible. And it is not possible that you wait for resolution of disputes till you have unity. Because you will never be able to resolve disputes, knowing our first cousin, the Indians, and knowing Pakistanis who are my brothers. It is not possible that they will resolve the disputes. So first of all, they have to decide that they have to live as South Asian people. Once they do that, and it's not easy, I can assure you, it's easier said than done, it then is possible to talk of resolving Kashmir or other issues, not as issues between India and Pakistan, but as we have maintained as South Asian issues. The disputes can be resolved within a South Asian context and not in terms of India and Pakistan disputes and so on and so forth. Similarly, in order to have an economic powerhouse, I think Dr. Akmal Hussain has left, otherwise I would have mentioned it before him, because we have been dealing with this. Recently I had an opportunity to examine what the world is going to be in 2050, and that China will be the leading power, India will be the third power. But I found that on all the tables, Pakistan was not figuring anywhere. Because it was also mentioned that it will depend on the ability to have good governance, the ability to fight militancy, the ability to fight, to plan for economic disasters, which is not even, the thinking has not begun in Pakistan. So I realized that in all this framework of future, the good things that are going to happen, we are not part of it, and we are not part of it for a variety of reasons which are known to you better than I do. The other thing is that we had problem with growth rate since Dr. Mahbubullah was in command here, and we rejected the theory of trickle down effect even then. And then, it is not enough to say that growth with equity. I would go for Dr. Amartya Sen's definition of development. I would like to say that instead of emphasizing growth, either like this growth or that growth, we should concentrate on development. And development is not, minus human development is meaningless. Because human development will enable you to fight poverty also. So what are the agents of reducing poverty? What are the agents of having growth with equity? Human beings. So if you do not develop human beings and you do not change the definition of development, then it will not be possible to avert the disasters that are staring us in the face. The question of having a shared destiny means what is the vision we have? What is the vision we have? At the moment, we don't have a vision. You see, our nationalism tells us that Pakistan has one vision on Afghanistan, and that nationalism tells India to have another vision on Afghanistan. We have no vision on fundamentalism. Imtiaz Alam Sahib is absolutely correct that there will be nothing left to talk about if Pakistan goes under the fundamentalist threat. And I'm sorry to say that nothing is left to talk about if India also goes under its own fundamentalists. So whether you have the Taliban or you have the Saffron brigade, we are in the same spot, and we also sharing a problem. But we do not have a shared view of to get out of it. So long as we think that let Pakistan stew in its own juice, or so long as we think that let India stew in its own juice, we are going to make sure that both of us are going to suffer a fate which our people do not deserve. In fact, the two states have let down the people all along, and we have not been able to prevent them from doing so. So the time is, you see, whether we will take the people along and move forward with them, or whether we will go on begging the state to do our job, which will they will do. Thank you very much.